Hey there everybody, my name is Kat Bowser. I'm your resident fantasy therapist and welcome back to my channel. Those of you here for the first time, welcome. My name is Kat Bowser. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm also a writer working on my first two novels, one a standalone, one the start of a series. And on my channel I like to talk about what I consider to be the heart of all writing, and that's the characters. And of course the heart of the characters is in their psychology, so that's the angle I like to take with pretty much everything I talk about on my channel. So last week I didn't do any videos, and the reason for that is because I was recording these videos. I would like to call this week essentially the week of the storm. Reason being that this first video should be going up on the 17th, which is a Monday, and that is 1 week away from the release of my friend Marion Blackwood's third novel, A Storm of Smoke and Flame. And I love this series of books that she has put out. I have done an ARC review for every single one of them, and I sincerely hope she continues to let me do so because I thoroughly enjoy doing it. So this week I wanted to call some attention to the series that she has created so that hopefully next Monday on the 24th, when she releases her third book on Kindle, the paperback will be coming later, you guys can give it some love. Hey there guys, so we are continuing my Storm Week, giving some love to Marion Blackwood's upcoming book release, the Storm of Smoke and Flame. And so today I have put together a tag for her book series. So there are 10 questions. You guys are welcome and encouraged to do this tag. I've left the link to Marion's webpage below, so I ask that you kind of direct people there so they can give her some love and look for this upcoming release of hers next Monday. So that being said, we will jump right into it. You guys can use whichever characters you like from your work in progress for these questions. You can use as many or as few as you like. I'm going to use my current work in progress, Coexist, to answer these questions, and I will look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. So if you end up doing this tag, do let me know so I can check it out. So question number 1, Storm. Does your character have a reputation, good or bad? Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna use Zava. So Zava is definitely acquired a reputation as kind of someone that's too curious for their own good. He is always inquiring about history and about why things are run the way they are and why does it have to be this way. All kinds of things that generally the elders kind of frown on for reasons I cannot go into. You guys will have to find out. Number 2, I'm gonna probably say his name wrong because I've heard of like 3 different ways to say his name. Liam. Who is your main character's best friend? For this one, okay, I'm gonna use Ani. Ani's best friend, and in fact, the only friend he has ever had, aside from his cousins, is Tony. And Tony is the child of a noble, so it's kind of odd by their standards that he is hanging out with a Silmuk. Even if he is training with him, it's seen as kind of weird. Tony doesn't care. Tony has no filter. Tony thinks that a lot of the expectations of society are stupid, they're dumb, they make no sense. So he's gonna rebel against them every chance he gets. He's very blunt, and he never does anything really with malice, but he's definitely gonna let you know if he thinks you're out of line. And that's one thing he actually does with Ani quite a bit, is he stands up for him, because Ani kind of has it in his head that because he's a Silmuk, he's not worthy of respect and things like that. But Tony isn't gonna let that fly. Number 3, Shade. Which character is not necessarily what they first appear to be? Not what they first appear to be. I'm gonna use Suna. Suna is a character who is from a very oppressive lifestyle. She has essentially been told almost since she was born, here's what you're gonna grow up to be, here's how many children you're gonna have, here's when you're gonna get married. she never really had freedom. So when she starts to explore freedom, it's a new experience for her, and like she literally has to start to recognize when she has emotions, because she doesn't always understand them. So there is a lot more depth to her than even she is aware of, because she hasn't been allowed to be aware of it. And so that's a lot of fun to explore, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Right, morality. Where does your character fall on the morality scale? I'm gonna use a Kiska for this one. A Kiska is probably, he's probably the grayest character out of the main cast, although they all kind of have shades of it. Because he doesn't really think of the world per se when he's considering choices. He doesn't really think of the vast majority of a lot of other people. He's focused on himself and on his father and on like the handful of people that he considers dear to him. And it's not necessarily out of selfishness, although that is a portion of it. It's more, this is more important to me than the rest of the world. Doesn't mean the rest of the world's not important. He even flat out says it. I know the rest of the world's important. I know other people are important. I know that people have loved ones, but they're not my loved ones. So he's fun to write. Right. Number 5, thief. Does your character's hobby or job play an important factor in the story? I'm gonna use Nolly for this. Nolly is actually working on trying to get an apprenticeship, which is very difficult in his culture. He is a gem carver, but aside from being a gem carver, he has a natural knack for magic, even if he's unaware of it. So this does become important later, but not necessarily as a show of force, but more as a way of understanding why things do the things they do. Why does magic work this way? Why do spells work this way? And it really becomes very important as the story goes on. Number 6, assassin. Are there any deaths in your story? Yes. I cannot tell you who, but I can tell you they're there. I'm always really careful when I do deaths in stories. I don't like deaths just for shock value. I really hate it when authors do that. If a character is gonna die in my story, it's because it's important to the plot and it needs to happen. I don't enjoy it, usually. I like all the characters I make, so if I kill one off, even if it's not necessarily the nicest character in the world, I still kind of feel bad. So if I kill a character off in my story, it's because I literally do not see the plot working without me having to take them out. And it's always planned. Right, number 7, elf. Which character has the most wisdom in your story? I actually have a lot of elder characters in my story as secondary characters that have a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience. So there's not necessarily one in particular, but there are several different ones, and they all have different wisdom to share. Some of them it's because they've lived a long time. Some of them it's because they've been through a lot. Some of them it's because they see through the political bullshit. So there's not necessarily one character per se that has more wisdom than the others. The other thing I like to do is I like to have children have some wisdom that the adults no longer see. Not necessarily because they have stopped trying to see it, but because just as by nature of growing up. And I think that's fun to play with. Number 8, tavern. Is there somewhere your character considers safe or to be without threat? This is really hard to find in this world for various reasons. For the most part, Nolly's uncle's home is pretty darn safe. He is a military stoneman, so he generally has a good eye out for threats and potential spies and things like that. The black tree in the Natuba area is also generally pretty safe. That's where Tima lives, and that's where his mother Uniana lives. And kind of same as Nolly's uncle, she knows how to assess threats. She knows when to talk about certain things, when not to talk about certain things. So I would say those are probably the top 2 safest places as of the moment. Number 9, guild. Is your character part of a group or a gathering of like characters? Sort of. Tema is the prince of the Natuba, but he's also being trained to both lead and to fight, to know how to survive. In order to be the leader, he has to be able to defend himself. He has to be able to defend other people. So there isn't really this eliteness in his culture. It's more, he's being trained by the best they have right now. So it's kind of stands to reason that he would be the best when he grows up. But if he turns out not to be, they can choose someone else. So his whole group is essentially the rest of his clan. They are kind of all designed to support and help each other. That doesn't mean they all do, because no one culture is perfect. You always have outliners. But for the most part, his clan is this very close-knit group. Right, number 10, knife. What is your character's weapon of choice or skill of choice? Given most of the main characters are pretty young, there's only a few that actually have a weapon, at least at the beginning. That might change a little later. So I'm gonna go with Tema. Tema is a bow and arrow guy. He knows how to fight with a staff. He knows how to fight with a knife. He knows how to fight with his bare hands. His preference is a bow and arrow, because as he puts it, if I can take care of a battle from a distance, I should. And he's not wrong. So he tends to prefer distance weapons, because he thinks once you get up close and personal, it becomes much more dangerous and it's much easier to make mistakes. So he prefers to have a distance weapon and use that to its full advantage if he can. So that is the Oncoming Storm tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will do it yourselves. As I said, I have dropped Marion's information and her website below. Please make sure you check it out. Give her some love for her upcoming book next Monday. And until next time, I hope you guys have a good one and stay safe. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, please leave them below. I will get to them as soon as I can. This week, I'm giving you guys a video every day, Monday through Friday. Next week, I will go back to my usual one video beginning of the week, one video at the end of the week. So if you don't want to miss when I upload, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you don't. And until next time, have a good one.